Now on CoastTV News.
Across Delmarva. The not so calm after the storm, how the massive amount of rain is still being felt by people across Sussex County.
Find out how yesterday's rain reshaped the entire Delaware coast.
Negotiations and meetings continue with U.S. officials in Israel. Why the Biden administration is stepping up pressure on Israel to change tactics in Gaza.
This is CoastTV News at 5.
Battling standing water while driving on roadways. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf. Welcome to our News at 5. We begin tonight with flooding seen up and down the coast. Last night and this morning, strong winds and heavy rain hit the coast. Earlier this afternoon, the sun did make its appearance, but the aftermath of the storm still being felt by many. Coast TV News reporter Elisa Weber joins us live in Milton. Elisa, some side roads are still shut down.
Maddie, some smaller streets are still shut down, like Magnolia Street here is still completely flooded with water. Take a look at your screen. You can see everything from Route 5 to Long Neck to Milton experience flooding, causing many drivers to be very cautious during their morning commutes. While the heavy rain has subsided, much of Sussex County and the coast are still dealing with standing water. DelDOT encourages drivers to avoid standing water.
Flooding down here for us. Like I said, this is the worst I've seen it since I've been down here. I know it has been worse. My aunt lives just over here, and they came up to PA where we lived at one point because the flooding was that bad.
DelDOT does worry about the high winds, but says that high winds will help the areas that are still battling this rainstorm dry up much more quickly. In Milton, I'm Elisa Weber, Coast TV News.
As we take a live look now into Rehoboth Beach, a beautiful evening now, the calm after the storm. Let's check in with our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Paul Williams, who's been quite busy the last 24 hours, Paul.
Yeah, but that's part of the course when you think about dealing with the nor'easter, which we talked about over 6 to 7 days prior to it hitting. First of all, let's take a look at the most impressive rainfall totals. Delmar at 5 3/4 nearly, over 5.5 inches in Stockley, over 5 inches of rain in Harbison and Lewis, and just shy of 5 inches of rain in Prime Hook. But let's walk down the coast and see this. So Slaughter Beach, we had 4.09 inches of rain. Prime Hook, 4.95, like we said previously, just shy of 5 inches. Now, we had over 5 inches of rain officially in Lewis and towards the Lewis Beach area. Flooding that was really rampant throughout the morning time there. 3.5 inches or just over that in Rehoboth Beach officially. Also, we go down to the Indian River Inlet, and we had just shy of 3.5 inches of rain there. And then as we go all the way down right along the coast, stopping at about Bethany Beach, we had 3 1/3 inches of rain that fell in such a short period of time. And because the time frame was so small, it set us up for big time problems of flooding. We have flood warning in effect for places like Seaford, Laurel, Byron's Store, as well as Lowe's Crossroads, along with coastal flood advisories that will stay in effect at least until 6 o'clock this evening throughout all of Sussex County, not to mention the problems we're having along the shore dealing with high surf as well as very gusty winds. Now, speaking of the winds, we'll talk about the winds coming up in our full forecast as well. But for right now, back to you, Maddie.
Paul, thank you. If you drove through Sussex County at all today, you were likely to see flooded fields, houses kind of turned into islands. Take a look. The horses you saw there gathered together on the few feet of dry land in their corral. Businesses in Bethany closed for the day as flooding took over streets and sidewalks, but the accumulation of water in some people's yards brought damage to homes and property.
This is about the deepest it got. It usually stops right here, right at the back of the car, and this first time it got past it. But we can deal with it. It's just 2 of us now.
Homeowners in Harbison expect the flooding to subside after 2 or 3 days. They say that's based on past years. Flooding happened across the peninsula. Now you can see some flowing waters in a Seaford neighborhood. Water levels high enough to reach the bottoms of a home's porch. Also in Somerset County, you can see the flow of water down there. High water level can be seen just by looking at the fence. And that brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know what you think the biggest concern is when it comes to flooding in our area. Let's take a look at the results so far. We were asking people, what is the biggest concern? And 70% of you say property damage. A very minimal others saying infrastructure, climate change, emergency response. So definitely we're seeing those damage. If you haven't voted yet, you can do that, coasttvnews.com or our mobile app, and send us photos of your damage as well. We have new information tonight on a deadly crash in Smyrna. Delaware State Police have identified 26-year-old Jakira Wayman of Smyrna as the pedestrian killed in the car crash Saturday evening. Police say Wayman was not carrying a flashlight nor crossing at a designated area when she was struck by a car. Police say it's not clear if she was under the influence of alcohol. They continue to investigate. New today, a threat was made regarding Seaford Middle School. It happened on a social media platform. It happened over the weekend. The school district says it worked with law enforcement and was able to disprove any possible threat. Good news there. The school issued a statement today thanking students and parents for alerting them to that possible threat. Top U.S. officials are in the Middle East and Europe today, working to restart hostage negotiations and move towards the next phase of the Israel-Hamas war. NBC's Alice Barr reports on how Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. This as protesters are demanding action to free more than 100 hostages still held captive by Hamas.
In the latest sign of the Biden administration stepping up its pressure on Israel to change its tactics in Gaza, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin meeting today with top Israeli officials. While he underscored steadfast U.S. support for Israel and said he was not there to dictate timelines, he did talk about the war moving to a different phase.
You're being more precise, you're being more focused on a specific target set.
It comes as U.S. officials are increasingly vocal about the devastating civilian death toll and spiraling humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip. Human Rights Watch now accusing the Israeli government of using starvation as a weapon of war. Israel insists it's trying to protect civilians and this weekend opened a new border crossing for humanitarian supplies, though the defense minister was adamant today.
We maintain the right to take all the actions necessary to defend our sovereignty and our citizens.
In Israel, growing protests for more action to free the remaining hostages after Israeli soldiers mistakenly shot and killed 3 hostages in Gaza, believed to have escaped from Hamas. The Israeli military released images of flags the hostages made, writing in Hebrew, "Help, 3 hostages." In an effort to broker freedom for those still in Hamas captivity, CIA Director William Burns meeting today in Warsaw, Poland, with Israeli and Qatari officials, a U.S. official told NBC News. It's the first known meeting of the group since last month's week-long ceasefire, when roughly 100 hostages were released and humanitarian aid flowed into Gaza. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
On Capitol Hill, Senate negotiators meeting again today on that urgent national security package that ties funding for Israel and Ukraine to the U.S. southern border. They say the two sides are making progress, but they remain far apart on key immigration policy issues. According to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, homelessness hit a U.S. high, a record high actually this year. The 2023 Annual Homelessness Assessment Report shows more than 650,000 people experienced homelessness on a single night in January. That's a 12% increase from the previous year. It's also the highest number of people experiencing homelessness since reporting began in 2007. One of America's most popular beer brands may have trouble reaching store shelves next year. About 5,000 Teamsters working at Anheuser-Busch voted to authorize a strike if a new contract can't be reached. Strike votes are a common part of labor negotiations, and many never materialize into an actual strike. Many recent strikes and strike threats have been against highly successful companies that can afford to meet labor demands. Anheuser-Busch, though, has seen a large drop in sales this year. The current work agreement expires at the end of February. Still to come, Southwest Airlines fined for holiday mishaps, the details that led to millions in fine.
Coastal Regions Alert, we dive into the flood concerns with all these impressive numbers from the nor'easter, and there's a concern for winds coming up as well.
But first, the Vatican has ruled priests can bless same-sex couples. How the new blessings can be carried out? Up next.
Toyotathon is on. Time to make the holidays picture perfect with a new Toyota. We're gonna need a bigger tree.
Buy a Tacoma with special 3.99% financing for up to 72 months. Toyota, let's go places.
Get ready for the holidays with delicious food and beautiful atmosphere here at Benvenuto in Milford. The perfect destination to enjoy this Christmas and New Year, surrounded by breathtaking Tuscan design. Get delighted with exquisite international dishes made with the freshest of local ingredients. So, book your reservation today and celebrate this holiday season at Benvenuto, right here in Milford.
In Sussex County, Beach Mobile Home and RV Supply has the parts you need.
Powered by over 30,000 square feet of inventory at brass sales and an amazingly knowledgeable staff, we offer plumbing, electrical, windows, doors, tubs, showers, and even roofing and skirting for your manufactured home. Plus an extensive selection of parts and supplies for your RV no matter the class, size, or style. Beach Mobile Home and RV Supply in Long Neck, Delaware, your home improvement superstore for all your manufactured housing and RV needs.
Are you dreaming of the perfect outdoor space where you can relax and entertain? Look no further than Delmarva's most trusted partner, Spicer Brothers. We pride ourselves on superior craftsmanship and only use the finest materials to create beautiful, durable decks. From classic wooden decks to low-maintenance PVC materials, we have the perfect solution for you. And right now, get a free Green Mountain Grill with your new deck. Plus, enjoy 0% financing with no payments and no interest for 18 months. Spicer Brothers, turning homeowners' dreams into reality for over 20 years.
Toyotathon is on. Make your holidays a little more magical with a new Toyota. Come in today.
Buy a Camry, Corolla, RAV4, or Tundra and take $1,000 Toyota down payment cash. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Coast TV News at 5.
In a major shift in Vatican doctrine, Pope Francis formally permitted Roman Catholic priests to bless same-sex couples on Monday. The blessings may be carried out as long as they are not part of regular church rituals or liturgies. They must also not take place at the same time as a civil union. The ruling is a shift from a 2021 ruling from the Vatican Doctrine Office, which barred any blessings. The federal government hit Southwest Airlines with a $140 million fine for last year's holiday meltdown. Remember that? The 10-day-long fiasco led to the cancellation of almost 17,000 flights and stranded more than 2 million travelers. The Department of Transportation says Southwest violated several consumer protection laws, including not communicating with passengers, failing to provide adequate customer service, and not refunding passengers fast enough. The agency says this $140 million fine is the largest civil penalty it has ever imposed. A deal has been reached for Nippon Steel, Japan's largest steel maker, to buy U.S. steel for $14 billion. The agreement would allow U.S. Steel to retain its name and keep its headquarters in Pittsburgh. However, the agreement could face opposition. Earlier this summer, the United Steelworkers Union vowed to only support a proposed offer.
Flood warning is what we're concerned with. Coming up in a few moments, we'll give you the latest on what's happening with flooding in our immediate area, so don't go anywhere.
This year, share all the love you have during the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event going on now through January 2nd. With every Subaru purchased or leased, Subaru will donate $250 to one of these 5 charities and an additional $50 when you choose your hometown charity, plus $5 for every routine service performed. Make the most of the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event and start changing lives in your community together with Gateway Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
Not everyone wants a big funeral. For those seeking a simple alternative, the Eastern Shore's most trusted family and funeral service offers another option. Eastern Shore Cremation and Funeral Service is simple and affordable. A direct cremation tribute starts at just $15.95, or choose to have a small visitation service, serving Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia with easy consultation by phone and streamlined electronic documentation. Learn more at easternshorecremation.com. Eastern Shore Cremation and Funeral Services. Simply respectful.
The new upscale OC Chopsticks Asian Bistro is the place to go for fresh, hand-selected ingredients used to create the most delicious Asian delicacies. Come dine in, have a drink, and let our skilled chefs prepare your authentic Thai, Chinese, and Japanese dishes. At OC Chopsticks, we take what was good and make it better. Sushi rolls, noodle soups, General Tso's chicken, you see where we're going. Anything made fresh is better. Serving lunch and dinner daily, located at the Ocean City Outlets. OC Chopsticks Asian Bistro, we stay fresh.
Are you tired of contractors not showing up on time or not even returning your call? And why are you still waiting for an estimate? Maybe it's because the sales consultant they sent isn't really qualified to make a proper quote, only to find out the contractor isn't even licensed? That's why thousands of homeowners and businesses trust Delmarva's original crawl space experts. At DryTech, we're certified, trained, licensed, and insured. So your crawl space problem gets solved, guaranteed. Call DryTech today for a free assessment.
Middays with me, April Brilliant. It's a feel-good show on your radio.
April is the easiest way to get through your workday.
She can play your favorite song.
She can help you find your furry friend.
The easiest way to get through your workday is with April.
She really makes you feel special.
Hey friends, hang out with me weekdays here on Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3 each day from 10 to 3.
Before we get started, this weekend was a prime example as to why this QR code is so important to you. We'll continue to update you hour by hour, minute by minute on how this nor'easter was making its way throughout our area. And we continue to update you because we have yet more rain on the way. I know you don't want to hear that. That's part of the forecast. This right now is actually a look at the rain just from midnight alone, because, we start the time clock over again at midnight. So just since midnight, we had nearly 3 inches of rain that actually hit the Georgetown area. And this red, this is where we received over 3 inches of rain pretty much uniformly everywhere. Let's go over some of the numbers because they are quite impressive. Nearly 5 3/4 of an inch of rain from the nor'easter in Delmar. We had over 5 1/2 inches in Stockley. Over 5 inches of rain fell in Harbison. Lewis, just shy of 5 inches in Prime Hook. Slaughter Beach, over 4 inches of rain there. But that's not all. We had over 4 1/2 inches for us in Jones Crossroads. Dagsboro, nearly 4 3/4 of an inch. Just shy of 4 1/2 in Laurel. Over 4 inches in Seaford, Ellendale, and Greenwood. So everybody was waterlogged over the weekend. Right now, we are clear. Not an immediate threat for rain, but let's track how this pulled through. For example, we had nearly 4 1/2 in Salisbury and, over that in Georgetown. But it's really right in this area where we had the most dense swath of significant rain that was, in that 5 1/2 inch category or even more as it stair-stepped its way throughout central portions of Sussex County. Now we see the most active rain well to our southwest and not an immediate threat. So we're looking a bit cloudy for right now. Coastal flood advisory in effect for the entire Sussex County area, but specifically a flood warning is still active for us until 5:45 for Bridgeville, Bryan Park, Seaford, Woodland, Kings Crossroads. And you saw that because we showed you the video where the water is all the way up the fence there. Coastal flood advisory for us in just about all the other areas from Plainfield to Pittsfield over towards Selbyville. Of course, the winds, small craft advisory still active for the entire eastern coast. So that's a problem. Winds, we had 48 mile per hour winds that were recorded in Georgetown. And for Sunday, that's not even the most impressive one. Jones Crossroad, we had a measurement of 59 mile per hour wind gusts. But the winds right now have finally settled down tremendously compared to what they were. As far as the prediction for the winds are concerned, we're looking more zonal wind, but not an immediate threat for us. As far as the damage, we had damage in Laurel that was reported, also some damage that was reported in Hebron. But once again, we're talking about the flood warnings active. Once again, as a reminder, then the flood advisory along the coast, and then we anticipate more in the way of a small craft advisory and what's happening with the gale wind warnings in our immediate area. Now, All of that being said, we're looking for a couple of sprinkles for us on Tuesday night. And then as we go into, let's say, our future cast, we're looking for a couple of days where it's going to stay very clear with the winds out of the northwest pretty steadily. And so for the next 3 days or so, we're going to stay pretty dry as we get ready to round this up here in a moment here. And we're not concerned about rain in the immediate future, except for those sprinkles overnight for Tuesday. Here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling extended forecast. These are just a few sprinkles. Don't let that freak you out. And then we're dry.
Paul, thank you. With lots of rain comes temporary closures. The Salisbury Zoo announced on Facebook they're going to be closed all of today. It was due to heavy rain and flooding. The zoo hopes to be open tomorrow at the usual time, 9 a.m. Oil giant BP is suspending all shipping through the Red Sea due to worsening security conditions. The decision follows attacks on commercial ships by Iran-backed forces. BP states it's a precautionary pause and will review as the situation evolves. This move mirrors other major shipping companies' decisions. After the break here on Coast TV News at 5, Apple Watch sales in the U.S., why the company is pulling some watches off the shelves. But first, the Blood Bank of Delmarva celebrating this holiday season. Perks for those that donate. Stay tuned on Coast TV News at 5.
You know, Brian, the best thing about living in Maryland and Delaware is that we can use our deck year-round.
And Nikki, Paul Davis still has time to install 10 more decks before Christmas.
Sign me up. Paul Davis's AZEC decks are the best. They don't fade or crack, even in the winter.
Our customers love our decks, and our crews are ready to install your deck so you can enjoy the holidays. Call now for your free estimate, and we'll include a fire pit free with your new deck.
Now that is a good holiday.
Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling. We are the difference makers. Weather is brought to you by Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling, the difference makers.
Shop local at the Treasure Chest for the gift that means more. Say you care about your friends, family, and community this holiday season with a gift from a trusted family-owned jewelry store for over 40 years. Happy holidays from the Treasure Chest on Main Street in Berlin.
I'm attorney Ben Schwartz with a safe driving tip for you. Multitasking is a good thing, right? You get more done in less time. But as a personal injury attorney, I think multitasking is a great risk to your health and safety. When you're behind the wheel, don't do anything in addition to driving your car because you will risk getting in an accident. Focus on the road ahead, keep yourself and others safe, and if you have been injured in an accident, tip the scales of justice in your favor. Call Schwartz & Schwartz today.
Old trucks, young love, and Saturday night. Now I wanna love somebody like you.
The Treasure Chest for the gift that means more. Say you care about your friends, family, and community this holiday season with a gift from a trusted family-owned jewelry store for over 40 years. Happy holidays from the Treasure Chest on Main Street in Berlin.
Welcome to First State Chevrolet, where we put you, the customer, first.
Since 1976, we've been your local hometown Chevrolet dealer. We'd like to thank all of our loyal customers over this past 47 years for their business.
Save over $8,000 on this new 2023 Chevrolet Silverado.
Interest rates as low as 1.9% on the 2024 Chevrolet Equinox.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas from our family to yours.
Find new roads.
Sponsored by Ancient Art Stone, where countertops are always a work of art.
As the holiday season approaches, the Blood Bank of Delmarva has a special treat for blood donors. From December 21st to January 2nd, the Blood Bank of Delmarva is giving festive holiday socks to every presenting donor at their centers and mobile blood drives while supplies last. December, it's a challenging time for blood supply with school breaks and travel affecting donations. Your donation can make a huge impact, so just consider giving blood this December. Apple is pulling some of its watches off the shelves in the U.S. amid a patent dispute. The company says its Series 9 and Ultra 2 versions will not be sold online or at retail locations starting this week. This comes as Apple fights with a medical device maker, Masimo, over the watch's blood oxygen feature. Apple is preemptively halting sales in case the commission upholds the import ban over the alleged patent infringements. The Maryland State Highway Administration is making a permanent speed limit change. That speed limit on Royal Oak Road between Maryland 33 and Moores Road will be reduced from 40 to 35 miles per hour. MDOT says this decision is to improve safety on a stretch with many homes, driveways, and side streets. Ocean City is holding its second inaugural Dream Fest on Martin Luther King weekend. That's January 12th to the 14th. The event will be packed with music, history, tours, speakers, and celebrations all around the coast, honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy. Well, we love decorating for the holidays, and we love seeing your homes. Let's take a look at one right now. We have an amazing home from Mary Lou Teets from Bethany Beach. She says, I love to focus on a red and white Santa theme. Thank you so much for sending this to us. You can send us your photos and videos to coasttvnews.com/holidayhouse. And the holiday season, it is truly here. So the Bless Our Children campaign is in full swing. Already, we have collected over $256,000 to help provide Christmas to children who might otherwise go without. But we know this year is not easy for everyone. So here's a look at some people who have already helped.
Thank you to every viewer who has donated to this year's Bless Our Children campaign. We certainly appreciate all of you have done to make sure that every child has a present to open Christmas morning. And that's a sentiment shared here by Miss Linda White in Smyrna, who is donating in honor of her great-grandchildren. She says every child should be allowed to believe in the magic of Christmas. Totally agree, Miss Linda. Thank you for your donation. If you want to donate, you can do that at blessourchildren.org.
Delmarva's Holiday House is brought to you by Bay to Beach Builders.
My darling granddaughter, this camera was given to me when I was your age. May it capture your big, beautiful life the way it did mine.
It's so surprising what the little things can do. Wouldn't it be wonderful if everybody...
Oh, Merry Christmas, Grandmother.
Long COVID is a serious and emerging health concern, but your primary care physician can help manage its symptoms and provide ongoing care.
By seeing your doctor regularly.
You can get help with symptoms of fatigue, shortness of breath, and brain fog.
They can also provide you with referrals to specialists and connect you to support groups.
Mental health care is also important for those experiencing long COVID.
Healthy Families is here to help you recognize the challenges of long COVID and prioritize regular visits with your primary care physician.
Discover Coastal Delaware's ultimate senior living experiences at the Lodges of Coastal Delaware. With locations in Rehoboth Beach or Lewis, you can dive into a world of sun, sea, and sand every day. Whether independent living, assisted living, or memory care, here residents enjoy a lively community of friends, laughter, and endless activities. Savor amazing food or grab a drink. The possibilities are endless. Join us and ride the wave of senior living at its finest. No matter the lifestyle you're seeking, we've got options for you.
At Atlantic General Hospital, we've been busy. Busy expanding healthcare services that are second to none in our region. From cancer care and women's health services to orthopedics, gastroenterology, and more, we provide advanced health technologies delivered by top providers. Expert care every day. It's what you can count on from Atlantic General Hospital.
Be a penguin on New Year's Day at the AGH Penguin Swim. Come out to Ocean City on New Year's Day or join our Cyber Swim and take an ice-cold dip wherever you are. Proceeds benefit the Atlantic General Hospital Foundation. For more info and to register in advance, visit aghpenguinswim.org.
Keep up with local sports all from one app. From your mobile device to Fire Stick, Roku, and Apple TV. Download the DSN app today. Driven by Preston Automotive Group.
It's already cold in some parts of the country, but technically winter is a few days away. The official first day of astronomical winter is Thursday. It's the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year. Thursday will have 9 hours, 26 minutes, and 13 seconds of daylight. The last day of astronomical winter will be March 19th, Paul.
Yeah, but Mother Nature apparently, didn't get the memo as far as don't bring any nor'easters our way. Listen, we have the coastal flood advisory for all of Sussex until 6 o'clock, and we also have a flood warning in effect for Seaford, Laurel, Lowe's Crossroads, Bryan Store, and those areas. In addition to that, high surf advisory in effect for late tonight. And we're going to be concerned about very gusty winds along the coast, so please keep all that in mind. Also, we're at the point where we're looking at about 25-mile-per-hour winds at the very least. Here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast.
Paul, thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 5. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. Inside Edition is up next, and we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 6. Have a great night.